All right, Taurus. Hey, my loves, and welcome to the Mother Tressa channel. Happy Friday. We are now in the month of July. Like, damn, June went by extremely fast for me. Like, it just doesn't even feel real, but what is time? But anyway, if you have happened to come across this channel, you're already familiar with this space, then welcome back. But if you are new, then definitely welcome in, and definitely come in with an open mind and heart and hear all the messages that I have to channel on this space. And if they happen to resonate, then definitely give me a thumbs up. If you already fuck with the vibe and you like my energy, give me a thumbs up. It helps as far as being able to really promote my channel more and to put it on the recommendation pages. I know that I've been in and out. My personal life, has kind of been getting in the way, but in the best way. And so I've just been catering to that area a little bit more than anything else, but I am here. But yeah, again, give me a thumbs up, share this with other Taurians that you may know though, and subscribe again if you like the vibe and you want more of these videos, but also hit that bell notification so you're made aware as soon as I upload. But let's get into it, Taurus, because I know it's been a month since I've posted a video for your zodiac sign. And I'm curious to know what's going on at this time for y'all. Okay. Hold on. A card though. Ooh. Are you messing with a Gemini? You messing with a Gemini, or are you coming to certain realizations now that you are no longer in Gemini season, right? We are now in Cancer's season, and I don't know if I did a video for them for their birthday, but here's what came through for you guys. You have the Sun, followed by the Ten of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the Two of Cups, ooh, who's this? And the Queen of Wands. So that's the overlying spread. And then bottom of the deck, the Magician is what fell on the floor, and then when I turned it over, he was in reverse, so you have that. But then you have the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Swords with the Seven of Coins. So, okay, let's do a little refresher course. For those of you that remember that video, I believe that you guys were given an ultimatum, or somebody was going to be proposing that to you, that if you were potentially dealing with multiple people, that it was to the point where it's like me or them. And this can have been a vice versa situation. I feel like for those of you guys that were brave and bold enough with this Sun energy to make that choice, you are now in a committed, monogamous, exclusive relationship, right? Because you have the Ace of Swords with the Two of Cups. It's definitely been something that has been divulged or professed. Both of you guys have made that sort of declaration, if you will, to be loyal to one another, and to do right by one another, and to really sit in this type of energy, which can be a little bit challenging as we're speaking to energy, right? With the Ten of Wands and the Queen of Wands. These cards are ruled by cardinal energy, because the number 10 vibrationally is associated to the zodiac sign of Capricorn, but Capricorns are cardinal earth signs. And then you have the Queen of Wands, which a lot of people in the spiritual community like to attach to the zodiac sign of Aries, right? But it could be other prominent fire placements that are within your chart or the person that you are with, right? So Leo or Sagittarius can also be contenders, also because you have the Sun card here. But these are difficult things. These are obstacles that you're having to become very decisive about figuring out how to handle. I was going to say like ingenious with being able to solve like the puzzle, right? Or whatever is going on. But Tauruses, you guys are just natural flirts, your ruling planet is Venus, which is all about love and aesthetic, like the eye, kind of like Pisces, that's ruled by Neptune, the idealism of love, but like playing to those senses and really trying to extract all different meanings of love, and really trying to come to understand what that means for you in particular, right? With this Ace of Swords, when it talks about like definitions of things, right? being clear and concise. And so a lot of you guys have gone through your life with kind of like titillating back and forth and always having those options because you don't necessarily know where you want to put all of your eggs, right? Or if the person that you are with is the absolute best for you, or if you are simply blinded in the moment by what is visually in front of your face, you know? There's always that fear that leads to the apprehension with you guys when it comes to choosing a partner, because you don't want to make the wrong choice and then have to be stuck in something because you love them, and you can tend to be very loyal, like you have undying loyalty to those that you have any sort of an intimate or close relationship with. It can be very hard for you to cut ties once you have that bond and or attachment, right? And so I feel like for those of you that were bold and brave enough to make that choice, it's a little challenging because now you are paranoid and you're caught in your mind with whether or not you made the right decision here. Some of you guys, you grew up in households that weren't very emotionally fulfilling, like to some degree. Maybe you were neglected, or maybe you were put into the wrong hands, right? You were put into the care of somebody that didn't actually look after you to the absolute best of their abilities. And so for some of you guys, you're working through that trauma of having to live for so long in survival mode that you don't know how to relax, and you don't know how to receive the genuine offer that can oftentimes be before you guys. I feel like you guys don't have an issue with having suitors, right? There's always a plentiful, bountiful amount of people to choose from. But again, it just goes back to that, like, am I going to really be with somebody that can really and truly make me feel safe and secure, aside from what I'm doing independently for myself to ensure that I'm not put in harm's way, basically, right? And so for some of you guys, if you're already in a partnership, you're struggling with that, and you can be dealing with some of these repressed emotions or things that you have really just tried to bury for so long and forget about. That can be coming back up to the surface, and so you can be feeling triggered even though there's nothing that is particularly wrong with the dynamic that you're currently existing in here. And so you're having to check in with yourself to see just how much responsibility you're putting onto your counterpart that really is a task for you, again, to complete for yourself, right? And to master for yourself, that self-mastery there. Because again, once you become attached, some of you have that potential of losing your identity in that partnership. And so you do anything and everything that you can to ensure that the other person is good, but then find yourself again feeling empty in other ways. So be it with the intimacy sector, say that you do things that pleasure your partner, but then they, because maybe also you don't vocalize it enough, don't really understand your anatomy and your body and what positions work better for you. It can read as them not caring, but it's just the fact that they don't fully understand. So if you've been a little bit more passive, now's the time to kind of, how do they say that? Grow some balls. But the zodiac sign of Leo, as far as body parts, they deal with the heart and the spine. So if you feel like you've been overextending yourself or overcompensating in certain areas, then that is what you're going to be looking at underneath the microscope, and taking a closer look at potentially rectifying with this Ace of Swords, like breaking old patterns to start something else that's going to really, at the end of the day, be more beneficial to you and more emotionally satisfying. You deal with sensations of bliss and satisfaction when you get into Cups energy, but also just having heightened awareness when it comes to your emotions and what you're feeling, and being able to put labels to them so that when somebody's approaching you and trying to have those like often difficult conversations that you might try to run from and or shy away from here, it's like you know enough about your feeling space to where you can articulate it in a way that is still very soft and gentle, but to where your partner is really able to see you in all of your glory with this Queen of Wands card. Like, oh my God, like Taurus can actually be vulnerable and transparent and be sensitive and play to that more feminine energy, right? Of wanting to be heard and seen, and then them wanting to cater to those needs, you know, where you can restore balance into something that may have been a little bit more one-sided for the most part. But again, you have to take accountability for the ways in which you've allowed for that type of dynamic and or that situation to play out as it did, where you were left with the short end of the stick, or you just feel like you didn't get as much out of it as what you put into it. Okay, so if you're looking for reciprocity, that is on the table and is very possible, so long as you don't trick yourself out of believing that you deserve it. Okay, with any partnership that you're having. Ooh, sorry y'all. Any partnership that you have and or may have in the near future. And this can also extend into work and workplace, and just how much of yourself you give to your business and or to these corporations. If it's been off kilter, I'm hearing and seeing the word staggered. So if there's been a staggering difference in the pay scale of what you're getting paid versus the responsibilities and the tasks that they have you doing, where you're doing more than what's in your job description, I feel like that is going to be dismantled, but in a way that isn't actually painful. It's just coming from a place of like awareness and self-worth. And so the conversations are going to be looking a little different. Capability for there to be negotiations, or a rewriting of contracts of sorts. As far as transits, the sun is in Cancer at 12 degrees, moon in Sag at 26 degrees, Mercury in Cancer, still retrograde, at 8 degrees, and Venus in Gemini at the 6th degree. And so you have some earth energy here. And I picked up on that Neptunian energy, right? When I was speaking about, I forgot what I was speaking about, to be honest with y'all, but who was that? Oh, when I was talking about the difference in Venus and the way that you guys love, or like the perception of love with that planet that comes through, right? In matters of expression. You get that with the sun being in Cancer at 12 degrees, which is water energy altogether. With that Mercury being in 8 degrees Cancer, I keep coming back to that. I feel like you guys might be interested in translocation, or that can be coming up as a topic of discussion. Be it you have been with somebody for a little while, say that you guys live in two different spaces, places, or whatever, potentially cities and or countries, with the sun and the 10 of wands, and it's gotten to the point now where it's unbearable, where you really feel like you need that quality time, and you really have that yearning of wanting to be around them because you miss them when you guys aren't in each other's presence. Maybe due to your careers, it's kind of hard for you guys to meet up as frequently as you'd hope to. Then I feel like those can be those little tidbits of conversations that are coming in as far as topics of like, okay, well, in the next year, where do you see us? You know, it's like that forward thinking with whatever partnership or with whatever idea or project you can be working on right now. It's like you're interested in seeing how it can progress naturally, right? But obviously, if it's in terms of a relationship, at some point you should want to have one dwelling where you guys come and lay your heads at. Now, if you're bi-coastal, that's your business. If you choose to have like Airbnbs or whatever else you can do with real estate, just to have other places to visit, that's y'all's business. But there should be one primary place where you guys are establishing some sense of roots and or security and safety, whatever is really coming up for you guys at this time that matters the most, that you're trying to prioritize with this energy. That can be coming through, like, okay, are we willing to compromise and pick a state that's in between, that's like halfway between where you and your family lives and halfway between where me and mine lives? Are they okay with completely packing up everything that they know and are familiar with and own and moving to your state to be with you and live in your place? Are you guys going to start anew and build a house from the ground up? Like, these are the sort of conversations you're having with this job or this business venture. Okay, a year from now, do you see yourself staying in that same position? And if not, because you feel like you're being treated unfairly, or you feel like there isn't enough representation, and or you just feel like there's something else out there for you that you're more meant to do, that may be more leaning towards like a spiritual path and practice, if you've been doing something that's a little bit more traditional, and or just more accepted, like widely accepted when you get the sun energy, and just trying to break away from that, like the status quo and the ordinary with this Ace of Swords energy, then you're trying to establish how you're going to actually do that, right? But being really thorough, that's going to be really important at this time, especially because Mercury is retrograde. You know, the Magician, this is like that Gemini type of energy, and you know, Gemini's ruling planet is Mercury. So if this isn't something that you've already been working on prior to Mercury stationing retrograde, then hold off until it's direct again, because you can be, with the Magician being in reverse, you can be swindled when it comes to certain things that are transactional in nature, by moving too quickly on an offer that you feel is going to help you at the end of the day, because you feel like you're going to be saving money, but on the back end, you could incur some debts here if you don't move smartly. So if you have the resources for it, just make sure that you have like a trusted lawyer, that you have a retainer, that you have a lawyer on retainer. I'm hearing that for sure. Or that you just consistently get second opinions before coming to a conclusion while moving through this energy with Mercury being retrograde here. Matters of the heart is practical though. You're just going to be weighing all options that are presented before you. And again, just with your deductive reasoning, checking off those things that just don't make sense and moving forward with what does in terms of partnership and what you're trying to establish, and or if you want to stay in it as well. There is no rose-colored glasses per se. You know that you yearn to have a deep love and something that is very transformative in nature as well, where somebody can really see you and love you without wanting to like change you at all. That's very important, that you can be your natural self, you know, and that you can shine in all the ways that you need to, in the ways that you express yourself, and they not be intimidated by that, because the Queen of Wands can sometimes come off as intimidating energy, but only to the wrong individuals, right? If you're an alpha woman, then of course you're going to need an alpha male. Or if you're more of a submissive type, you might pair well, especially if you exhibit or exude more feminine energy. You may pair well with somebody else that has that leadership ability, so the both of you guys are not like lost in the sauce, lost in la la land and fairy tales, or are constantly having to go back and forth, but neither one of you can ever come to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Because neither one of you know what you're really doing, because you didn't really establish the connection with intention. So those are the things that are coming up here. So just bear with yourself. I definitely feel like you guys are shining in all the ways that, you know, in all the ways that you can. Like, there's a certain glow and effervescence about you, very magnetizing at this time. A lot more people may be drawn to you at this time, so don't be surprised if you feel like more people are wanting to kind of, you know, knock on your door or check on you to see how you're doing, or wanting to include themselves in your plans or in your life. That would not be unlikely. Just be very careful, especially if you're already in the public eye, because the sun is Leo's energy, and Leos tend to be very popular. If that is the case and people are just randomly trying to make an entrance into your life, just be careful with the intention that some people have, because not everybody has your best interest at heart. Okay, so that's what's coming through, Taurus. If this reading resonated, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family. Again, subscribe if you haven't, and book with me should you need to. But if not, then just take care of yourself and soul until you see me again. Ciao.